Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is part 2 of my driving experience in Sweden. So, we are going to talk about tips, advantages and disadvantages, and the total cost. So, let's take the tips. My tip number 1 is never listen to people when you're doing driving, okay? Do you, and do you, okay? Don't listen to people because those guys will get into your mind and you're gonna fail the exam. The That is tip number 1. And my tip number 2 is that be prepared. It's gonna be expensive, but let the cost not stress you because you're going to fail. Okay? Yeah. Book your exams, like the main exam, around summer. Don't try to book around winter because the weather is horrible, the roads are horrible, and you will feel if you come, like for me, I come from Africa, I don't know what is winter on the road. So when you're braking and starting happening, you know, also do your bookings for the exam through the school. The school is capable of fixing you a Saturday or Sunday with the traffic market, but this is very hardly happens. But if your time is coming to an end, they can make it happen. It doesn't happen that rarely, but it can happen because I've seen the guy that I was working with, they booked him on Saturdays. Yeah, and not once, he did like 5 times, I guess. So it's possible, but you can't book yourself a Saturday with the traffic market because you don't even know how they do it. Okay, so go through the school, the driving school. Okay, because there's the driving school and there's the traffic market. Two different things. Driving school is where you go to test drive, okay? And the traffic market is where you actually go to do the main exams, okay? And they're the people who give out the driving license. And then the next thing is what is it called? Don't argue with the school when they say that you're gonna test drive with a car because it costs a lot of money. It's like around 800 krona. It's expensive, but this thing will save you a lot of money because if you fail and you pay in traffic market 700 and then you come back again and fail, just do with the same exam with the same car that you practice driving with. Because you're familiar with this car, you go through the circle hits control with this car with your teacher, so this is gonna be easy for you. Okay, so try that, pay that amount of money. It's gonna save you a lot of money and time. And then the next thing is I told you guys not to listen to your friends or your colleagues about driving. The best thing is that make your driving experience a secret. Only to family is fine, but people outside there, they're gonna stress you the hell out of you, and it's gonna stress you, which is it's not what you want when you're doing driving. Okay? Yeah, and then the other thing is there are people who think more of the money instead of booking as many classes. Like for example, yes, the school can be tricky when they're trying to overbook you classes because they want money. At the end of the day, it's a business. But also for you, you need to be smart and know the limit. So if you have been told to book like a 20 package, they sell the classes in packages. But for me, I didn't choose in packages because most of the driving I was doing with my husband, so I didn't feel the need of like booking a package. But if I knew, I could have actually paid a package for like 20 classes. It's better and it's cheaper because it comes with discount. But me, I paid classes after classes, but it's fine. But it's a bit expensive. So if you are able and if you have the money, you can book these classes in like a package, and it's more cheaper. But the challenge is it's very hard to like get 20,000 krona all in one in just a. It's not easy, especially for someone who's not working. And also for me, I'm not gonna take I don't it's not easy to get that amount together and just pay. And also I feel like it's very expensive when I pay like that. I just need to pay like 600. This way I feel like it's not expensive. But if you do the total cost, it's more expensive than even actually paying this 20,000. But it's up to you. But if you're capable, please pay in packages. And then also, when you're near to exams, like the main exam, which is the practic, that's when you need to be careful with how the school is telling you to pay for classes. If they're trying to add more classes to you, just be smart and just let them know your limit. You can tell them that you're broke, you don't have the money. My teacher told me I wasn't ready when I was like, then the next day is driving, but I didn't let that get into me. Be on time when you go to do these exams, because you you don't want to be arriving in the driving the day that you have the driving test. That's when you are late. That day all you're trying to do is get away with the stress. So if you're late, that is a very huge stress that's gonna be created in you, and you might fail because of that, because you're not relaxed. Be there like 1 hour early if possible, and just have coffee, sit down, relax your mind. But don't be coming running the last day and you're stressed, okay? Another thing is, for me, I didn't find the benefits of like booking a theory exam in school. It's expensive. I never booked any class for theory. I read theory myself. I just went to Google a lot of questions. All the questions are there. I did a lot of YouTube videos watching about the theories they ask. The app also that I told you guys about, I'm gonna attach that app here. It's the best, most beneficial app with like so many questions, and the questions are sectioned in like parts where they're talking about like the road safety, how to handle your car, like they section the areas that you need to study. So I never booked any lesson for theory. I just studied myself and just I passed. So save money when it comes to driving, because you can actually be drained when you're failing so much. Don't continue booking, because people think that, oh, I failed this, I'm gonna book next tomorrow and see if I will pass. You're gonna fail. Take your time if you fail, and actually rethink what happened. And especially with theory, if you fail, don't rush back. It's not expensive like a driving the practic, because the theory costs like 300 krona, and the driving practic is actually 720 krona. It's a bit expensive, so most people like binge book the theory, because the theory you can book anytime, and that's not smart, okay? Yeah. And for the immigrants, please don't listen to your friends. Let them not fill you with bullshit about racism when it comes to driving. I am not Swedish. I passed that thing in one take. It is possible, okay? So don't listen to anyone out there telling you, oh, because you're from this country, they're not gonna give you. Let this be a testimony for you. It is possible. I did fail and I passed in one take. So because people people be using that phrase everywhere. You do shit outside there, and because someone is trying to put you in your position, in your place, you start saying, oh, is it because I'm from this country? Please, when it comes to driving, if you're failing, it's because you're failing with a purpose, and don't don't use the racism card when it comes to this, because at this time, I don't bash me because I'm saying this. I wasn't favored. I wasn't looking this good when I went to do driving, just so you know. Like I told you, I was going there to like test and then come back. Okay, so it just happened. So let that not be told to you. And that's the reason why I'm telling you guys to keep your driving experience secret until you pass and you tell people. So yeah, do I have another? Before you book the risk two, which is about actually driving, be sure that you're able to drive a car, because I saw someone booking the booking the risk too, but they can't drive. And that is so crazy because you have to be able to drive a car before you do this test. And then again, if you have never driven a car, driving, if you have never driven a car and you're in a new country which you don't know anything about the rules, please, I know most people want to do manual because when you do manual, you can drive both cars, manual and automatic. But for me, I feel it's more peaceful to do automatic car here in another country and then get familiar with the roads, and then maybe 1 to 2 years comes and then you can change your license too. You will just pay for the exam because at this point when you change it, you just do the practical exam. You're not gonna do the theory, and then you change that time. But if you don't know the roads and you're trying to do manual, because when you're doing manual car, what I learned is you need to be mentally prepared and actually have a little bit of idea how the roads are. If there's a bump, if there's a place where there's a junction or a roundabout where you need to stop, so you know when to be prepared with the clutch, okay? But with the automatic, you don't think of this. Something abrupt happens, you just brake and then just continue rolling. Easy. So yeah, if you think you can take the advice, I know most people will be like, oh, you don't. It's okay. It's up to you who want to take this advice, because most people think that manual car is easy. It is easy. It's just not easy in a new country. Okay. Yeah. And when you get your license, the new drivers are given a probation of 2 years. That driving license can be what is it called? That driving license can be cancelled if the police catch you in a mistake. So new drivers are really watched out there. So drive carefully. Don't be in a rush. Don't be peer pressured, because most guys be peer pressured by their friends and they are tricked to like speed. Police are everywhere, and if they catch you, that driving license is taken and you have to like, I think you're given a like a 1 year probation, and then you can actually go back to school and do the whole thing from start. So that time you don't want to do this. Another thing is, as a new driver, there's so many things most new drivers fail into. When you get a driving license in Sweden, they rush into like buying a new car. Listen, guys, new license comes with expenses, okay? Insurance is gonna like be double comparing to the people who have been driving for like more than 5-10 years. So you actually, as a new driver, you get to pay more. So don't rush into like buying a new car because you're not even sure. As in, you can't be sure if you have done a bit of a research, like way deep research to know the types of cars, because new drivers want to drive luxury cars, expensive. You don't know shit about fuel right now is very expensive, and because you're still learning, we are told that driving is a whole lot of experience. You might be confirmed that in just good chance you're qualified to drive, but you will always do mistakes. Even people who have driven for 5 years, they still do mistakes. So always think that when you buy a new car, and you don't want to scratch that car because it's expensive, guys. And I feel like the first year when you get your driving license, you're still learning. So, and also in Sweden, it's not a place where if you drive in a Mercedes or a SUV or whatever, people are actually saluting you. People don't care in Sweden. Drive a Kadudu, drive or whatever. Nobody cares. So take your time, because excitements can cause you to lose your license, because people feel like, oh, I need a new car, oh, I need a... No. For me, when I got my license, I'm not comparing, don't have to be like me. I'm just saying, just take it easy. Yes, you can buy a car, But don't just go and buy the hugest SUV, the hugest bus, the hugest expensive car. Don't do that when you only have, because not that because you can't drive, you can drive, but it's gonna cost you double because it's a new license. That's what I'm talking about. So be smart on your economics. Save money. Be smart on your finance. Save money. Okay? And then again, do I have another tip? Yeah, Sweden is they're very very aware of the environmental well-being. Okay, so there's something called eco driving, which is all about caring of the environment when driving. So when you're accelerating, always think about these things, because driving does not come with good things, but we got a driver, but you can drive eco-friendly. So be eco-friendly when you're driving out there. Don't rush. Take road trips, yes, but don't put yourself in a situation where you are like, for example, I take the car and I'm like, oh, I can drive, I'm gonna go to Stockholm. Stockholm is the most craziest traffic I have ever seen. When you're living in a small town where you only have 2 lanes, and then you're going to Stockholm where they have like almost 4 lanes, and then you're stuck in a place where you're panicking and then cause accident. You don't want to be like that. Take your time, start with small cities and then go to like a bigger city. Most people tell me that it took them 2 to 3 years to actually go to Stockholm and drive. That is the same step I'm gonna take. I'm not gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna go to Gothenburg and drive. Don't rush into those mistakes, because again, as a new driver, if you do a mistake, your driving license is banned, as in it's cancelled, and you have to do the whole thing again. So be careful. So I think those are the tips. If I find any other, I'll attach them here. But for now, let me go to advantages and disadvantages. My advantages when it comes to driving in Sweden is, I will say in capital letter, freedom, because then you need to drive in Sweden, because especially when you're working, if you're not working, I don't see the benefits of driving. You can just use the buses. The buses in Sweden is like you have everything, you know. Buses work well. They are never late. Like if a bus is late, it's like 5 minutes late. That happens only in winter. Barely happens. So yeah, it's all about freedom. And if you have work, especially when you have double shifts, you don't want to be struggling during winter because you don't have a car, as in walking to catch a bus. And if you miss that bus, like you feel like the world is crashing, you know. And also the what is it called, I actually don't have many advantages. Another advantage is that you get to see Sweden. You can travel, although you will take places in the level that you feel you are in, like experience wise, and you don't have to rely on someone to like go to a place or go for an outing with your friends. It's it's relaxing to be able to just take a car and go to the shop and buy something, because sometimes when I used to like go to a shop, these buses come in like 10-20 minutes, and if you miss one, you have to be stuck there outside for like 10 minutes waiting for the next bus, because it's not like Kenya where buses are like every single minute. No, here there's one bus after, maybe if you're living in a busy area, it comes after 10 minutes. If you're living like in a place where I'm living in, it comes after 20 minutes. Disadvantages, guys. The disadvantages of driving in Sweden. The cost of fuel. Oh my god. Owning a car is very expensive. It comes with the cost of fuel, the insurance, the inspection cost money. everything. Uh, you gotta pay for everything. Parking, finding a parking, especially on Friday in Sweden. If you park somewhere and you haven't paid the parking money, another fine comes, and these fines don't come cheaply. Oh my god, need to drive during winter, but you forget about that. It's cold. You always have to look at the degrees to know, because the degrees outside determines the speed you will drive your car. Always think that and put it behind your head, because if it's negative something, you need to drive carefully, because that car is about to slide. Don't brake drastically, guys. Always make sure, if you're not sure of a parking area, make sure you park in a place where you will actually pay, because this prices is like 40 krona, 20 krona, 12 krona. That's nothing. Instead of getting a ticket of like 1,000 krona, that's a lot of money. Yo, don't try to get a ticket, because these tickets also come when you're broke like crazy, like you don't even know how to pay. That's when the ticket comes. Another disadvantage, when winter comes, you actually do not enjoy that much with a car, because every time you go outside, your car is buried with snow, and then maybe you wanted to go out looking good, and then you will start sweating, trying to scrub the snow and everything. It's not fun, guys. Yo, it's like a workout that you were not prepared for. But most disadvantages comes when it's a winter. It's not fun. Another, the price of fuel, like I talked about, it's very high right now. But I am hoping that the fuel will drop, because total cost that I'm paying right now monthly for fuel is around 2,000. My ticket monthly was 800. Do the math. The car comes with two different tires. Okay, so the tires have to, there's the winter tires and the summer tires. And with the Swedish law, during winter you have to change your tires into winter tires, and if it's during summer you have to change your tires into winter tires. The reason is because when you're driving winter tires during summer, you're damaging the road, because those tires have like small needles. I'll show you guys the winter tire here. That's why it's not allowed, because it's gonna destroy the roads. And during winter, the reason you can't drive summer with summer tires is because you're gonna cause accidents. You need to have a grip when you're braking. Otherwise, if you're driving summer tires during winter, you're gonna go hitting each and every car and causing accidents. So you have to change that. It's not stressful. It's not a disadvantage, but it is a disadvantage coming from a country where you don't have to think about this. You just put one tire all year, and you only get to change a tire if it's a flat tire. So yeah, and then also you need to think of the width of the winter tires. You just can't just drive. If your winter tires are below 3 mm, I think, and the police sees you, you are gonna be fined. So it's a lot of things to think of when you're driving around Sweden. And also during summer it's 1.5. Okay, so always think of these things, and always check your car. Like the control, circuit heads control is very important. Safety control is very important. I keep saying circuit heads control, like everybody will understand. It's called safety control. It's important. Every car, this is not a disadvantage, just to state, every car here in Sweden yearly has to be inspected, and inspection is not done by just anyone. It's people qualified to do this. If you don't inspect your car, and then it's found on the road, you're driving it, you can be fined, or your license can be cancelled. So always have your car inspected. They send you reminders that you need to inspect your car, and they give you a limit until when your inspection expires, and your car should be inspected before this date. So that's a very good thing. In Kenya, people, let me not even talk about that because people might bash me, but we need to have countries where they have a yearly inspection done. And if a car is not inspected, let it not be on the road, because people need to live. Let's decrease the number of accidents. So yeah, those are my advantages and disadvantages. Let me slightly touch on the cost, my total cost of the driving. I will say I was lucky because I had one take in both the theory and the practice, because people who have failed, they tend to pay a lot of money. I'm not gonna touch on that, but I'm just gonna give you guys a full total of how much it costed me. Let's just say a person who passes the exam one take, let's say just a one take driving license, we're just gonna do a total cost for someone who have not failed. Pardon my. Okay, so my first price that I paid was to book for an eye test. That costed me this much. I'm gonna attach it there. And then the next thing that we booked for was the introduction course. And we go, both me and my husband, that is the person that you'll be driving with. So you go, both of you, and this person that's driving with you, if they have been in the class before, he doesn't need to come again. You just go alone. And then I can roughly say, I don't know, I won't count the okay, let's take 5,000 krona, but this is just a rough estimate. It can't be more. But this 5,000 krona, I'm taking it for maybe the private classes that I did with my husband. And this is me being nice, because I did so many driving classes. But this cost, I just take it to, and I used to tell him, let's go out and drive. Okay, and this can be more. And then my total classes, I'm not sure, I'm just gonna go count, and then I'm gonna state here my total classes and how much it actually costed me, okay, with the driving school. Okay, so all the classes that I did and the total cost. And then there's something called risk 1 and risk 2. Risk 1, you pay this amount, and risk 2, you pay this amount also. We are just gonna do a sum of everything that I'm mentioning, and then we will see the total amount. Trust me, guys, I don't know how much I spent on this, but let's count together. Yeah. And then there's those two risks, and then there's the theory test. It costs this much, and then the two books, the theory and the theory in Swedish and theory in English books, the total cost is here. And also there's the app that I was talking about. You buy it in the driving school, it costs this much. And then I'm trying not to forget, the day that I had the driving test, actual driving, I paid this the school that day. I told you I have the class and the car, so that costed me a total of that amount. And then there was now the the traffic packet, which I paid this amount of money to have my driving test done. So that day I paid for the class, the car, and the traffic packet money, this amount. And then when you get your driving license, you pay this amount also to have your driving license sent to you. So here is my total amount of my driving. I will say that is expensive, because in Kenya, I think I pay like 10,000 Kenya shillings. That's like 1,000 krona. But I don't know how much it is now. But that time when I got my license, it was costing me like 1,000 krona. That's nothing. Compare it to this. That's very expensive. But I don't regret. This can be expensive to someone who doesn't have a job. I have a job, and that's why I didn't feel a pain, you know. So yeah, that's it, guys. This is the longest video I have ever done, but that's my experience. I am so happy, and it's been so peaceful driving in Sweden. I have to tell you guys that when you drive in Kenya, in Sweden, it's very peaceful comparing to driving in Kenya, because Kenya is crazy. But if you can drive in Kenya, you can drive in Sweden, guys, because that's nothing. It's like walking the park. The driving here is very calm. No one is overtaking like crazy. But yeah, that's my experience, and yeah, I will see you guys later with another video. Ciao! And the sound comes when I'm done. Wish I had put my hair like this. Bye.